Welcome to part two of our first half grades of the 2022 New York Mets. It is time to do outfielders. Let's go.
On 3-2, Vader. Swings and misses, strike three. He struck him out. 5 Met pitchers combined for the second no-hitter in New York Mets history.
So it's been a little bit different for the Mets in the outfield. Usually we have a huge outfield grave by now. So this is kind of crazy. We only have 6 outfielders that we've had this year.
Well, I mean, they haven't really gone to the Austin Jackson or the Albert Almora levels yet. But, you know, a couple guys have played like Albert Almora and Austin Jackson last year. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
All right, so let's talk about the center fielder who can play center field. He's our center fielder, Brandon Nimmo.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a little disappointed, you know. Obviously, my best friend, good minor league buddy. I knew when he was a prospect, but good boy. Give him a B. Kind of been disappointed. I'm kind of concerned about his ground ball rate. He has very high ground ball rate. You know, like we said in the last video, we don't like ground balls. And he's having multiple games of 3 ground outs to the second baseman. That's not good. Hasn't walked as much as usual, which is walk rate's down, which I don't like. We maybe over-exaggerated the price, potentially what the price tag is, because he really hasn't paid what we had expected coming into the season. Please improve in center field and has legitimized himself as, hey, I'm a center fielder, you dorks on the internet. I'm the center fielder of this team. I am better than the guy in right field. Kind of taking a step back offensively. Still getting a very good offensive player as leadoff guy, but kind of underwhelming to my expectations.
Listen, I'm going to call you out right now. That is full-on recency biased, all right? Last few weeks-ish, he's been a little bit slowed down a little bit, but he gets an A from me. Come on now. This is our best hitter in the lineup, and he always contributes any way that he can. Has he slowed down a little bit recently? Yes, he has slowed down a little bit recently, but he's a great player. He always shows his value. I know he's going to be a 5-win player by the end of the year, and he is going to get paid. I love Brandon Nimmo. Why do we love Brandon Nimmo? It's because he gets on base. That's why we like Brandon Nimmo.
He's been the 3rd most productive outfielder on this team this year. That's why he's not an ace. He's the 3rd most productive outfielder. 3rd. We'll get to the other 2. But again, Nimdog's great. I love him. Again, he's my buddy. I may or may not have his phone number. He's my best friend. But I had expectations, especially in a walk season, for this guy. And he has been subpar.
It's just been the last 2 weeks. You got to calm down. You really got to calm down.
Batting average is peaking in valleys and peaking in valleys. He's not walking. Walk rate's down overall. You know, there is some key flaws that, you know, the Nim dog is the kinks in the armor.
What, you think he won't make those adjustments though?
Like, let's go. I need him to get hot because I need a 99 Nimmo at the end of the year because that was the best card Nimmo we show last year.
You're delusional. I can't stand you. All right, now let's go over to Kahlil Lee. He hasn't really played that much, but I mean, we can talk a little bit about how he was in the minor leagues, you know, how he is with this season.
Getting demoted from AAA to single A, doing literal dick in the big leagues. Yes, he had the Lucas Duda homer and Angel Stadium. He's not a big leaguer. He might be a 4A player. Like, he's not good enough to be a big leaguer, but he's too good for the mind, like AAA, because he did once he got back up to AAA. Got back to hitting the way he was supposed to hit. But he's the 2nd best prospect in our system, so, you know, we got to support him as much as we can. And yeah, but it's an F. He has done literally nothing to be like, hey, you know, there's upside. There's nothing.
All right, well, I'm going to go a different way here. I think just because we haven't really seen that much, I'm just going to go neutral and give him a C. That's pretty much it. But like overall play, you probably can say an F. Can't really make a full judgment on him because we haven't seen much of him. I'll be nice here. Now let's get to Mark Canha. Loved this guy in Oakland. Signed him as a free agent. I'm so glad that he's a Met. What do you think about him?
Canha's been great. I gave him an A. Again, high batting average, getting on base. The power hasn't come, but I know he's going to end up probably then the season still hitting about 15 homers. The expectations were, I wouldn't say they were low for me, and I was expecting him to be another on-base Chad. Overall play, he really hasn't. Defensively, he's been pretty solid. He looks like a nerd trying to talk to a woman playing defense, but besides
he's a very awkward guy. Very awkward.
I mean, I do respect, you know, he's an ally, you know, he's having fun, you know, he likes food, and he, you know, he's a good dude. He seems like a good human being. So, again, nothing wrong about Mark Canha.
I told you all this guy was good. I told you he's a really good player, and he's got all 5 tools. He doesn't play them at the high volume, but he can use all of them. He moves pretty well, plays a great game. He's insane with 2 strikes. He makes the pitcher uncomfortable. Man grinds at bats. I love Mark Hanna. He gets an A+. One of my favorite players back from when he played in Oakland. We all know my dad's a big A's fan, so Mark Hanna is the guy. Love that guy. There's nothing really bad you can say about him. Now let's get to Nick Plummer, first round pick by the Cardinals, kind of flamed out there, breakout season in Double-A. What do you think about Plum Dog? This is your guy right here.
I gave him a D. Unlike Kahlil Lee, the Plum Dog is the only person in Mets history to homer in his first 2 games as a Met. But again, struggling. Again, he's kind of the same thing with Kahlil Lee, kind of a 4A hitter, 0 for 22 stretch or whatever the hell he's on now. Can't make contact. I still believe in the Plum Dog millionaire. He'll be back.
I'm going to go a little bit higher than neutral, and I gave him a C+. I like this guy's swing. I say that the approach is not there yet, mainly because we just haven't really seen much of this guy in the majors. He doesn't have much experience. I like the upside of this guy. I like the potential of him. I think he can be a big piece to this lineup if he gets the major league experience. I also think he has not really benefited that much because he hasn't really been playing as much as we want him to. I like the potential of this guy. I just think that he just has not shown it yet, mainly because of the lack of experience he's had in the major league.
I mean, he is better than Kahlil Lee. So that's just a fact of life. You got anything to say about it? I got 2 words for you.
Plum Dog.
Plum Dog!
Now let's get to Starling Marte, the man in right field, replacing the other man in right field that I don't want to talk about right now. Get a little emotional.
Producing the way that we wanted Michael Conforto to produce for years, and now we're actually getting it from him. And even when he's like slumping, he's still having the occasional beating out a dribbler and ending his hitting streaks because he has the speed and the ability to just beat out nubbers and cheap hits. And again, he's actually provided a little more power. Again, I think could end up hitting 20. I think there's a good chance he definitely hits 115. Throughout this if he stays healthy, which again he's had a couple of nagging injuries, but still I give him a B+. Again, has had better results than Nimmo. So again, Nimmo's ranked 3rd from the big 3 and starting outfielder. Marte in the middle with Kana. He's 1 hot streak away from getting back to being what he was doing last year. I've been impressed.
I've always liked Starling Marte as a player. My only concern is just, the injury history. And that was the only problem that I had giving him that 4-year contract, but he's been relatively healthy. We've still had some scares. He's dodged a couple of bullets. He's been good when he's in the lineup. I gave him a B+, mainly just because I don't like ground balls, but other than that, I mean, he's been a great player. He's been a huge key to this lineup. The production you're getting from him in the 2-hole is something else, and he's been fantastic so far this season. Our final outfielder made the opening day roster. He's hurt right now. We don't really know when the return is going to be, but hopefully soon. Travis Jankowski. This one's a weird one because he only has like 1 specific role.
He's been a very harsh spreader if you watch the first 2 videos, and I think I'm finally going to take an approach that you've taken a few times, and I'm going to go slap dab in the middle because, like you said, he's kind of a specialist. He's going to be your pinch runner late in the game. If he's starting for you, you play great defense, and he's going to bunt 3 times. I gave him a C. You really can't give him much more. You can't really give him that less. Like, I do like him. You're not my favorite player, but you are a important player for the Mets.
Yeah, I also went with a C. It's kind of just that neutral approach with him. He doesn't really play that much. When he does play, he just has, a few things that he does well. Great defender, great base runner. He does have a lot of value to this type of team where they kind of grind things out and, create runs at will. So it's really nice to have a guy like Travis Jankowski. Is he the number 1 guy that you want? No, but he's a solid ball player. So that's something that you really do like off your bench.
With all like the prospects the Mets had, outfield prospects, like they had a lot. It's crazy to think they finally got a godly outfielder, got a whole 3-man outfield since they got rid of Michael Conforto. All it took was getting rid of Michael Conforto for the Mets to have a top 5 outfield crew. I think obviously the Cardinals are up there. Defensively, offensively they've struggled, but they're in that conversation for having one of the best outfield groups.